I mean, $28, it is a good price, and I feel like the quality is there. I've been using the crap out of this guy. This was my first axis lock. I wanted to kind of get my feet wet with axis locks, and this one just, you know, was a great starter for that. And we have a D2 blade that is stone washed, so take a look there at the finish. Tested next to the, what do we have here? The Demco AD 20.5. This is the shark's foot blade style here, all right? It's very comparable, and this one is the clip point version right there. Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel and you're watching Miguel EDC. Welcome back. Today we're going to be reviewing this guy right here. This knife is called the Flissa pocket knife. That's it. No other fancy name. I guess they didn't want to get creative with it. They just call it the Flissa pocket knife. And I don't know, that I kind of wish they named it something different, something unique. Like you got the Civivi Elementum, the Kershaw Leak, right? But this one is just the Flissa pocket knife. So is the Flissa folding knife still a budget king this year, right? That is the question of this video that we're going to be answering all throughout. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. Let's get right into it. This is an interesting one. I gotta tell you guys, I am definitely very impressed with how this knife has performed. I have gotten a chance to EDC this knife for the last 2 weeks. If you missed the unboxing video on the channel, make sure to check that out. I'll probably drop a card somewhere so you can see that, maybe put it in the description as well. But let's talk about this knife. Let's first open it up. Let's see the action. Boom, look at that. This is an axis lock style knife. So again, open with the axis, right? Just like that. But look at the action. Look at the action, guys. You could do that all day. It's so butter smooth, so fidgety, right? Of course, you could open it with your thumb if you wanted to for a slower action, right? You could do that. Can you do the reverse flick? Boom, all day, every day, guys. All day, every day. You want to be careful with that blade when it comes back, because it definitely, you know, slides back very fast. But the reverse flick action right there, so you can see, it is so addicting, so addicting and so fidgety. So what are we working with for the Flissa pocket knife? So, well, right off the bat, we have a stone washed D2 blade. That's what we're dealing with right here. And I gotta tell you that this blade right here looks like nothing else that I have seen. Kind of looks like a Warncliffe in a way, modified drop point Warncliffe sort of blade. To me, it kind of looks like a Cybertruck. That's kind of what I fell in love with this knife when I was just looking through Amazon, looking at different knives and whatnot, looking for something different, looking for something unique. This thing looks like the Tesla Cybertruck. I'm like, yeah, let me try that out. Let me test that out and see what that's all about. So yes, D2 stonewash blade. For the handle here, we're dealing with black G10. We got G10 going on as well. And yes, I mean, this does not get old. So let's get some overall length here. Let's get some measurements going on so we can sort of put things in perspective. What do we have? The overall length on this guy, I want to say, is going to be around, I want to say a hair over 7 inches, right? Probably going to be a 7 inches and 1/8 of an inch more. For the blade, we got a 3-inch blade, guys. 3-inch blade. At least the cutting edge is 3 inches exactly. For the handle, we have somewhere around 4 inches. So this guy's going to be that perfect ratio, just like the Kershaw Leak. It's a Civivi Elementum, right? Let's get those guys on here so we can do a quick comparison. The Elementum, sorry. The Kershaw Leak is going to have that perfect ratio, 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle, 7 inches total length. The Civivi Elementum is going to be somewhere in that ballpark right there. And by the way, if you have not seen the review videos on these two, the Elementum, the Kershaw Leak, make sure to check those out. Links for those will be in the description. Awesome EDC knives, right? So let's put it close to some of the other standard knives that we showcase here in the channel whenever we do a review. Let's put it next to the Para 3. Of course, put that down here, right? Very comparable to the Para 3, right? The handle on the Para 3 is a little bit longer. And let's put it next to the PM2, Paramilitary 2, the bigger brother of the Para 3. And yes, of course, the PM2 is always going to have a larger blade, a larger handle, right? Definitely warps the Flissa pocket knife. But yes, definitely more comparable there to the Para 3. All right, so that's it for the Spyderco family, right? Let's test it next to the, what do we have here? The Demco AD 20.5. This is the shark's foot blade style here, all right? It's very comparable. And this one is the clip point version right there. So I want to say both of them are about blade-wise, about the same. Probably have a little bit more cutting edge on the Flissa pocket knife, but the handle on the Demco 20.5, it's going to be a little bit longer, right? It sticks out just a hair right there, so you can see. Yep, so very comparable, somewhere in that medium size range, right? Medium to small on the Flissa knife. All right, and by the way, these guys I'm EDCing right now, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so you don't miss out the review on these Demko knives. All right, and last but not least, well, we have a few more. I always like to do a good amount of comparisons here. We got two more. We have the Sencut Saxi and the Sencut Crawley, right? Both of these are gonna have a little bit of a longer blade, longer cutting edge, and longer handle, right? Take a look right there for yourself. And these are up there with the fidgetability, right? That's your new word for the day. Fidgetability being button locks. So let's see here, same with the Crawley as well. Also EDCing these two so I can do a review video. And last but not least, we got to keep it classy here. Here's the Ontario Rat Model 1. Let me put that one up here actually. I'm trying to build a theme here, always putting the larger knife on top, the smaller knife at the bottom here. So Ontario Rat Model 1 right there at the top definitely dwarfs the Flissa knife for sure. Longer blade, longer handle. It compares a lot better to the Ontario Rat Model 2, right? A little bit of a smaller blade on the Rat Model 2 compared to the Flissa knife. As far as the handle goes, I mean, these guys are very, very, spot on with each other right there. The handle length is probably about the same on both of these. So there you go, guys. Take a look for yourself. Let me know in the comments if you like to see any other knife comparisons in the channel when we do reviews, but that's pretty much the standard comparisons that we do in every single knife review. All right, so let's check it out again, right? Boom. Deploying action, this thing fires like crazy. It is on ball bearings, right? It is on ball bearings. I'm not sure if you guys can see it there, right? It is definitely on ball bearings. That explains why this action right here is so good. And then when it comes to kind of shutting close, right, that detent pulls it in the rest of the way, right? Which is kind of makes the whole action so smooth. All right, so great action on this guy, right? Let's do a quick carry profile here against the other guys. All right, Para or PM2. So against the PM2, about the same thickness. Hard to tell, maybe the Flissa is a little bit thicker. Next to the Para 3, maybe a little bit thicker than the Para 3, it looks like. Next to a Demko 80-20.5, regardless of blade shape, the Demko is a little bit thinner, okay? Compared to the Sencut Saxi. All right, you guys be the judge right there, but it seems that they are pretty spot on. The Flissa probably being a little bit thicker, right? The Sencut Crawley, same deal. Yeah, Flissa's a little bit thicker there. Rat Model 1, look at this guy, boom. Yeah, the Flissa's still a little bit thicker. So those G10 handles, they make the knife a little bit thicker, it seems. Rat Model 2, yeah, this is a smaller brother. Definitely a little bit slimmer than the Flissa folding knife right there. All right, let's do a, let's see, folded comparison, right? There is the PM2, Para 3. Of course, the Spydercos are definitely always going to be a little bit thicker on the width because of the Spidey hole there. This one actually sticks out or protrudes out quite a bit because of this blade portion sticking out, and especially this whole cutout, right? That whole cutout right there. Also sticks out a bit, not too much. All right, let's see it next to the Demko brothers here. All right, yeah, definitely a little bit slimmer than whichever Demko 20.5 variant you compare it to, regardless of the blade. Yep, definitely a lot lower on the width there. All right, let's keep it fair here. Check the Sencut brothers as well. The Crawley, I want to say the Crawley, it's a little bit slimmer, and the Saxi might be the closest match right there as far as the overall total width. And last but not least, of course, we have to check the Ontario brothers too. Boom, there's the Ontario Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Rat Model 2. All right, so it's somewhere in the middle, right? Not as slim or as narrow as the Rat Model 1, but definitely, I think a little bit less than the Rat Model 1. So bigger, I got the two mixed up. So definitely a little bit thicker in width than the Rat Model 2, and probably a little bit closer in comparison to the Rat Model 1 on the width. Okay, let's do a quick hardware check, guys. We always do a hardware check in every video. My tools are linked in the description as well. They're affiliate links, they help out the channel. I work with the Strabito tool set, linked down below, and it just has every drill bit that I could possibly imagine, I could possibly need. So let's take a look here. Looking at this guy, I want to probably guess somewhere around T6 and T8. Right, let me start with T6, test that in the handle there. Right, got butterfingers, of course, that never helps. So there it is, T6 on the handle, right? Definitely something bigger for the pivot. Right, that pivot is going to be a T8, yep. T8 on both sides. And as far as the pocket clip, that's gonna be T6 as well. This is a quick blade stock thickness on this bad boy here. Let's see, in the thickest area, we're dealing with, all right, 0.10, right, 0.10 inches right there. That's the thickest portion right here by the tip. I know that's a very pointy, licey tip right there. All right, it's gonna be 0.02 on the very, very tip right there. Let's also get a quick weight on this guy. Let's see, a quick weight on this bad boy here. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's a lot of grams. We are looking for ounces. There we go. All right, 3.6, so it's a little bit heavier than the Kershaw leak, a little bit heavier than the Elementum. So let's see, 3.6 ounces. So let me tell you guys about my experience EDC in this guy. It's definitely been over 2 weeks for sure. This guy this has been through so many cardboards. We have a fireplace that we started doing like every other night pretty much, and we were burning wood and some cardboard and things like that to get the fire started. And this thing cut through that cardboard like nobody's business. So again, the design just spoke to me right off the bat because it just looks so different. I don't think there's a knife out there. You guys let me know in the comment. Something to keep in mind sometimes when dealing with these Chinese brands is, you know, is it a copy of something that already exists? Is it a knockoff? Is it a clone? That's always an important conversation to have, or something to think about. I definitely do not like supporting clones or copies of, you know, authentic original designs, but this to me did not look like anything out there unless I just haven't found it yet. Let me know in the comments. It looked pretty unique. Again, it looks very Cybertruck type of style, kind of futuristic, so different than so many other knife designs out there. And this was actually my first axis lock, believe it or not, my very first axis lock. So I have flippers and some other opening mechanisms and whatnot, but this was my first axis lock. I wanted to kind of get my feet wet with axis locks, and this one just, you know, was a great starter for that. Again, we have a D2 blade that is stone washed, so take a look there at the finish. It's gonna be able to hide any lines or any scratches and things like that from cuts very well because it is stone washed. There's no jimping here at the top, as typically the case with knives that have this you know, big opening on the blade itself. I'll give you a perfect example. Here's another guy that we recently reviewed in the channel, the Civivi Ortis, right? And because it has a somewhat similar opening, although a little bit smaller on the Civivi, right? There'll be no jimping on the top of the blade, just because that would only make that section there much weaker. So yeah, check out the review on this guy if you haven't already. I'll also put a card up there also if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, same deal here with that G10. These are some thick G10 scales on this guy. As far as the inside, it is not milled whatsoever, so I'm sure this here is going to be some sort of stainless steel, right? But it is not milled. That's why it's over 3 ounces, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. It should be a very robust knife. I like this red accent right here. You only get that on one side, not the other. So got that red accent right there. Kind of reminds me of the CJRB Lago in a way, with that red touch right there. That being said, it is somewhat deep pocket carry with this clip here. I want to say probably this tiny little bit right here, this much is 1/8 of an inch is going to show out of your pocket, but that's about it. The clip itself is very nice and elegant. Probably a little bit too long for my preference, but it does the job. And yeah, it's very deep pocket carry for the most part. Yeah, I gotta find the right lighting to make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about. Since the knife is all black, might be a little bit difficult to see sometimes. Knife does have a lanyard hole right here, so yeah, I said it right this time. For all the other videos in the past that I've been just mispronouncing that word. If you prioritize your lanyard, lanyard hole right there. All right, if you're into that, that is there for you. And I mean, as far as the blade, look at that blade right there. That is pretty centered right there, right off the bat. And again, I have been EDCing this guy like crazy so far. So the blade there is pretty centered, and even after some use, it has remained pretty centered. So locking mechanism, this is an axis lock, right? Axis lock. I think omega springs are typically the issue with axis locks and things like that, right? You probably see inside, there you go, you can see a little bit, there's some pocket flint all over the place, but yeah, you can see kind of that milling there for the omega spring. Yeah, that is what axis locks are all about. So there's a spring that holds the blade there, and by the way, that's pretty locked in place. That's not going anywhere. And then when you pull back on the bar right there, if you pull back on this bar, see this bar right here with the omega springs, then it releases the blade, right? And by the way, this one just slides back and forth like a guillotine, so you want to make sure your fingers are out of the way. Otherwise, you could risk getting some cuts. Although, you know, you'll have to be kind of like a rookie for that to happen. I feel like as long as you have some good practice with, you know, just folding knives or axis locks, you'll be all right. I was new to it, and it didn't, you know, it was not an issue for me at all. As far as sharpening, right, got a nice sharpening choil right there, which is pretty good. How does it feel on the hand? Well, when I grab the handle here, right, I can get a nice comfortable grabbing handle position here. Only a tiny bit of handle left. I do have average hands, so not too big or too small, but you know, this is plenty of handle, at least for me, right? And yeah, as far as the, you know, kind of cuts forward, backwards cuts, I want to say yes, you'll be all right with those as well. I want to say again, this guy has been through so many cardboard boxes I can't even begin to explain, but here we go. Let's test it and see how it does. All right, I get a little bit of, all right, you guys be the judge of that. So even after, you know, some use, right, some hardcore use, right, obviously I'm not gonna, you know, cut a tree down with my knife. These are, you know, I do use my knives in very, very, you know, daily sort of tasks, like opening some boxes or envelopes or cutting cardboard, you know, to start a campfire or what have you. So even after some good use, after a good number of weeks now, probably about a month or more, it still cuts, you know, like you would expect out of the box. It's not the sharpest. I'm sure when it came out of the box, it was a lot sharper than it is now, but you can see for yourself, right? It's retaining so far a good cutting edge. So some closing thoughts here, guys. This knife comes at about $28 right now. I want to say it was a little bit cheaper when I got it. It has gone up maybe $1 or $2. Check the links in the description again. Those do help out the channel. That is totally up to you, of course. But again, for the price under $30, right, you are getting a solid knife. It is a Chinese knife. It is not a very well-known brand. They do make a multi-tool, right, that I'm also planning on reviewing in the channel. This one is a little bit controversial because they say, a lot of people have said that this one looks like the Leatherman Wave, right? So if you want to see the review on this guy, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be kind of touching on that, and I'll be explaining a few things during that review. But yes, that is the same brand right there, Flissa, and this is a very good multi-tool, at least so far in my experience. I'll go over that more during the review. All right, that being said, guys, so is this Flissa folding knife still the budget king for this year? And the answer is yeah. I mean, this guy is up there. This guy for the money. This guy for the money, you're getting so much value for the money here. It's crazy with the D2 blade, this awesome shape right here, Warncliffe. I mean, this is absolutely a great budget king, and you should check it out for yourself if you haven't already picked yourself up one of these. For a folding knife, I think they have a smaller version of this guy as well, so they have some different variations for it also. But I mean, $28, it is a good price, and I feel like the quality is there. I've been using the crap out of this guy, and you know, still holding on like a solid trooper, right? Like pretty much every other knife that I have. There's really not a lot to complain about. Like, I'm really thinking through, you know, what are my dislikes, and really not a lot to think about as far as dislikes, right? The handle is kind of interesting right here with kind of the design, but it doesn't bother me in any way. So the ergos are really good, even with that kind of unique design there, right? Definitely, it's not going to carry like a, you know, Boker Kalashnikov or anything like that, but you know, for what it is, right? With the thick G10 scales, right? Feels nice and comfortable. Maybe the pocket clip, you know, I can feel that, you know, a little bit more than I would want to. But other than that, I mean, it is solid for the price. So if you like this review, guys, don't forget to smash the like button. After this review, we're going to have the review of the multi-tool in the channel. It might just be live right now. So check out the card right here, right? If you want to see the review on this guy, don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.